for me, it's welcoming my friends. And when I see all these people, when I'm working on the lists of attendees and vendors and all of that, it's like, oh, it's going to be so great to see these folks.
This is the Box Office Podcast. I'm Daniel Loria, the editorial director of Boxoffice Pro, the pulse of theatrical exhibition. Here this week with my colleagues and co-hosts Chad Kennerk and Rebecca Pahle from Boxoffice Pro. And in our feature segment this week, we've got Diane, the regional director of Rocky Mountain NATO, talking about Rocky Mountain NATO's regional convention going on from September 23rd to 25th. If you haven't registered yet, it's a great opportunity to do so. Diane is going to be joining us to talk a little bit more about the event, which is now going to be one of the big events in the second half of the year here in the exhibition convention schedule. We're excited to be attending that event at the end of September. But before we get there, we've got box office to talk about. We've got news to go over. Rebecca, Chad, welcome back. Starting this the way we usually do. Rebecca, what's the last thing you saw in a movie theater?
It was not a new film. MoMI, or the Museum of the Moving Image, close to me in Queens, was screening 2001: A Space Odyssey in 70 millimeter. I saw 2001 in 70 a couple of years back when it screened at Alamo, Brooklyn, but I'll see it. I'll see it 18 more times if it looks like that. It's just kind of like a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely no-brainer. I saw it when I saw it on 70 millimeters. I saw it at the Museum of Moving Image as well. The Sherry Redstone Theater, I think they have it dedicated to her. They're in the main lobby. Beautiful screening space out there in Queens. How about you, Chad? What did you get to catch up on?
Yeah, I caught up with the Lionsgate film She Rides Shotgun, which is a thriller, but it's really a father-daughter story, and that's the hook for me. The 10-year-old girl, Anna Sophia Hager, was a phenomenon. It's got to be one of the best kid performances I've seen in a very long time, and great chemistry with Taron Egerton, who's always great.
That came out through limited release from Lionsgate last weekend. On my end, I finally got to catch up with Eddington, the Ari Aster title set in that summer of 2020 we all want to forget. But man, was it good. I don't know, as someone working here around the exhibition sector that worked alongside Rebecca in figuring out what was going on and what wasn't going on during that summer.
It was very traumatic, yeah.
Yeah, man, there's just so many things. It's a satire, of course, so it's not to be taken at face value, which is good, but it's a very accurate satire. I think probably the nastiest satire of the United States that I've seen since Lars von Trier's Dogville.
Oh,
that is meant as a compliment, by the way.
Oh, but yeah, not to America.
Yeah,
compliment to Ari Aster. Yeah, not that America doesn't deserve it.
It's like anywhere else. Every country has its issues, and sometimes when you take a critical view of things, those films don't get the credit they deserve upon first release. I get it; it's the summertime; people want to go see, Superman and Saving Fake Countries or Fantastic Four in a different universe. I get that. Do they want to see, maybe not the best reflection of how things went down that summer? Probably not. Probably too soon. But I have a feeling that Eddington is going to secure its place in the contemporary canon in the coming years. I absolutely loved it. Reminded me a lot of Robert Altman's Nashville in parts, in terms of tone, in terms of spirit. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough, but maybe wait a couple years. Just, I don't want to dissuade anyone from going to the theaters, but
let it sit.
Let it sit.
I still need to get out and see Naked Gun and Together, so I have a very long list of things to catch up with. Actually, I don't think last time we recorded I hadn't seen Fantastic Four yet. I had to push that back because I'd been sick for a little bit.
Well, I'm glad you showed up this weekend, Rebecca, because Fantastic Four needed all the help it could get, suffering a massive 67% drop in its sophomore frame, going from a $117 million opening weekend to a $38 million week two tally. Extremely disappointing numbers here from Fantastic Four First Steps. Really, the entire market, I think, underperformed from what we wanted last weekend. Bad Guys 2 opened to around $22 million. That's probably the only film that our forecasting range was accurate on. But really, the big disappointment here, we wanted this to perform really well for a number of reasons, but The Naked Gun opening to $16.8 million. We really thought this could do 20 and up. It couldn't even get to 20, unfortunately.
This is looking like another pop star, which just makes me more dedicated to go out and see this thing. I can't let this thing be another pop star where it's just like in movie theaters for 3 weekends and then goes to streaming. And then later everyone's like, this movie's amazing.
That's what I'm afraid might happen. And that's why we need to support these films, especially genres like comedies. I think we're all rooting for that movie to succeed. For that reason, right? We need more movies like this in the marketplace. Even if one doesn't hit, we need more to come out. So yeah, disappointing opening weekend there in third place from The Naked Gun at 16.8 million. I think something that did open in the range that we were expecting, probably a little bit in the higher end of that range, was Neons Together, the body horror film starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco. That opened to 6.7 million over the 3-day weekend. It opened midweek, so it ended up bringing in $10.8 million over its first full frame. Combined, not what we wanted last weekend, but this weekend is looking a little bit brighter. We've got 2 movies that are going to be vying for that first place after seeing just how strong that drop was from Fantastic Four. We've got Freakier Friday here from Disney, currently tracking to open between $35 and $45 million. And then I do have to bring this up because there's a lot of hype coming in for Zach Cregger's Weapons ahead of opening weekend.
I cannot wait.
The tracking for this is climbing up, up, and up. Right now we have it opening between 25 and 35. But who knows? I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if it gets competitive on who ends up in first place by the end of the week. I do think that Freakier Friday and that millennial nostalgia, that female demographic that has been so loyal to movie theaters, when you activate it, they come out. I do think that'll take the edge this weekend. But Weapons, man, there's a lot of excitement here. Talk about a marketing campaign from Warner Brothers that is really piquing a lot of people's interest.
Yeah, and the reviews have been great so far. I'm staying away. I don't want to know anything more than I already know. So it's one of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm in. I'm committed. I need to actually bug Eric about getting our tickets.
Yeah, I have my ticket. Well, the day this comes out, I'll be seeing it that night.
Where are you seeing it?
I'm seeing it at the AMC, the closest AMC near me.
I was going to mention, this is the sort of ticket you want to get on opening night.
Yeah, you don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah, this is definitely not the movie you want spoiled. They have 2:17 p.m. tickets on that opening Thursday. I believe that's the timestamp of
yeah, in the trailer, yeah.
Which I find interesting.
That's nice.
I have, for journalistic purposes, I have a ticket for that showtime. I'm just going to go for the beginning, see how it plays out, see what the excitement's like, and then I'll probably watch it later that night. But I can't wait to see this movie. So it does look like a closer battle than it would initially seem like here for first place at the box office between Freakier Friday and Weapons. But like we always do, we don't have a dog in the fight here. We're rooting for everything to work. We want our partners in exhibition to bring in as much money as possible during the summer season. And August is probably going to slow down after this weekend. So
August, you know.
Yeah. If you have movies to catch up on, buy that ticket for next weekend or the weekend after that, guys. Get ready to catch up on things over the summer because we need all the help we can get in the second half of the year. And part of those initiatives to get people coming back into movies in the second half of this month is a special date night at the movies being offered by the Cinema Foundation. Chad, what details can you tell us about that event?
Cinema United and the Cinema Foundation are introducing Date Night at the Movies, which is a national movie-going event on Friday, August 22nd. So it's a great way to celebrate favorite pastime and 2-for-1 treats. Lots of discounts there on popcorn, drinks, other concessions, and some surprise promotions. Check your local theater for their deals, and it should be a fun opportunity to, like we were saying, catch up on some of these films.
Date night programming, nothing has ever topped for me when Alamo did a Valentine's Day screening of Audition.
Ooh, that's a good one.
And like nobody had seen it. Very few people in the audience saw it. That was fun.
Oh man, that's a shout. Well, talking about programming coming up over the coming weeks, we are seeing a lot of initiatives here from Regal, the second largest circuit here in the United States, doing their homework over the summer. I'm not sure Eduardo is giving everyone extended time off this season because they've been busy over there in Tennessee. What are some of these updates here? Because programming wise, Regal's really stepped up its game.
Yeah, they've partnered with Variance Films, which is the distributor that AMC partnered with for the Taylor Swift Eras Tour documentary that we all have such fond memories of, all the money that brought in. This time around, they are working with Regal on Dude Perfect, the Hero Tour. I've got to say, I did not really know who Dude Perfect was, what
Oh,
Dude
no one
Perfect
listening to
was.
this podcast has any idea. Chad
Yeah,
doesn't know. I don't know. I would be shocked if any of our listeners has any clue.
they're YouTubers. It's a sports comedy situation. These guys like doing trick shots. Coming up, Fathom Entertainment is doing screenings of live performances of Critical Role, which is comedy and D&D essentially and gaming. So this feels like a more kind of a sports oriented version of that. They had apparently a very successful tour for, going through a couple cities. So now they are bringing that into cinemas. I suspect if you have anyone maybe who's in their 20s in your vicinity, they might have more information on what this is. But I always like to see that sort of experimentation, I guess, as to what is going to get those younger moviegoers through the door.
It's a really good idea to activate YouTube channels, creators, content, and find a transition for that to work in a cinema setting. So I applaud Regal for this effort. And they're also got a number of other initiatives, including a multi-film repertory series around the Conjuring franchise.
Yeah, so they are bringing back the entire previous films in the Conjuring franchise, which I believe is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 8 films.
Eight.
Uh,
We're
eight
at eight
films.
Conjurings.
And we're about to have 9 when the
Oh,
Conjuring
wow.
Last Rites comes out in September.
How have I never seen a Conjuring thing? Now we have to do one of these podcasts where I watch all these movies for the first time. Chad, how many have you seen? Quick.
I think I've seen all of them.
I've seen what was the Annabelle prequel? That was Annabelle Comes Home. Was that the Michael?
Yeah.
That one was
I think
good.
that one was actually really
Surprisingly
fun.
good. It was, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a creepy doll. Annabelle's the creepy doll. Then is the nun part of this? Is the scary nun?
Yes, the nun
It's
and
just
Nun
noun.
2.
You just get a noun and you make it creepy.
I know I've seen some of the Conjuring. I think I said the Conjuring 2. That's kind of what I like about the franchise, or what the appeal of the franchise is. It's all kind of interconnected, like interchangeable. You can just kind of, you get the idea. Yeah, it's
You just drop
scary plus
in,
noun.
check out a haunting, check out.
Yeah,
That type of deal.
you can vibe with it, which I think horror movie fans we've seen are very in tune with going to cinemas, with going events, with in-person gatherings. We see that in the past with like the success of like a film like Terrifier 2, Terrifier 3. Like these are things that you would not necessarily expect to get a lot of traction, but they do because the horror movie community, and I include myself in there, is insane. But yeah, this time around they are Regal's partnering with Fangoria, which is of course like the Bible of horror journalism.
They're the box office of the horror genre. What we are to exhibition, our friends at Fangoria are to horror.
Yeah, Fango's awesome, but they're going to screen all the films. And this is what really caught my attention. 2 things. One, the ticket price for each of these films is $6.66.
Love that. Anytime you can throw that in there, I find it funny.
And there's going to be an Annabelle-inspired popcorn container. So a Regal PR, like, look out, because I'm going to be emailing you to ask for images of that, because I am definitely curious.
Leave Kevin alone. We bother him enough. But you know what? If you're going to get a popcorn tub out of it, why not? Go for it.
This is a bit off topic, but someone just bought the house, the original Warren's home, and all of their little museum of things, including the original Annabelle doll.
It's like a podcaster. It's somebody.
Yeah,
like
it's like
internet
Ghost
famous.
Hunter, and
so it's a stunt. It's not like a family of 5 just rolling the dice, seeing what could possibly go wrong. You know, the walls bleed from time to time, but other than that, the plumbing's great.
I want to see that movie. Maybe they'll make that coming up.
Yeah, there might be a documentary of the renovation work I need to do in this place up here. But we've got that Conjuring Universe retrospective series at Regal starting on August 18th and running through September 3rd, leading up to the release of The Conjuring Last Rites later this fall. So I love these programming initiatives. You're seeing a lot of re-releases as we come into this like end days of summer, early days of fall. You've got Tim Burton's Batman and Batman Returns coming back to
Black
Dolby
Swan,
Cinema
Black
at
Swan and IMAX.
AMC. Black Swan and IMAX. Yeah, you've got a couple of interesting shouts there that I find interesting. That's always good to see.
It's a nice equilibrium, I think, just comparing it to 2020, 2021, where it was just endless Goonies. Like, we don't want to have to rely on those rep screenings, but with smart programming choices, it can definitely work. I mean, I think the last rep I went to in Dolby was Purple Rain, and it was sold out. The crowd was totally into it.
That's great to hear. No, these premium formats, whenever you can bring a movie back in that format, I think it's very effective. It's smart whenever you can get rep titles in these premium formats. And we're seeing more of these premium formats pop up. We just heard that CJ4Dplex and Cinemark are going to be expanding its relationship, now adding 20 additional ScreenX locations to that Cinemark circuit in the US and Latin America. ScreenX being that 270-degree panoramic screen experience that is just really taking off all over the world. So we'll be seeing more of those auditoriums pop up. And to wrap up this technology recap, Moving Image Technologies just added Barco laser projector and Dolby Atmos sound to 4 Alamo Drafthouse locations in Texas. That was announced earlier this month. So a little bit of everything here in upgrading standard screens, adding premium auditoriums. That investment from exhibition just keeps on going back to the moviegoer, investing that money in ways that the moviegoers can actually see and experience at the movies. It's always great to hear about that. And in that note, we are going to our feature segment here with Rebecca Pahle's interview with Diane Eve of Rocky Mountain NATO. That's coming up after this commercial break.
The Rocky Mountain National Association of Theater Owners encompasses the 6-state region of Colorado, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming. Rocky Mountain NATO serves as a dedicated support network for cinema owners and operators across the 6-state region, providing resources, advocacy, and community for its members. Registration is now open for the 2025 Rocky Mountain Theater Convention, September 23rd through 25th. The annual gathering where members come together to share information, insights, and best practices. Visit rmnato.com to register.
I'm joined by Diane Eve, Regional Director of Rocky Mountain NATO. Diane, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on your podcast.
I've heard great things about the show, so I'm really excited to find out more about it. To start off, could you give us a little bit of info, like the history of the show and of Rocky Mountain NATO as a trade group?
Yes. So our trade association is Rocky Mountain NATO, and I do anticipate our name undergoing a change with the rebranding of Cinema United. So that's coming. But Rocky Mountain NATO dates back many years, Rocky Mountain Theater Convention, to at least the early 90s. Mm-hmm. Prior to that, the association was made up of a lot of independent trade associations. So Colorado, Idaho, Montana, New Mexico, Utah, and Wyoming make up our 6-state region, which, years ago were all independents, and now they are all within that 6-state Rocky Mountain NATO region.
And you have people from outside of that geographic area attending the show. Like, I think I read some people come in from Canada. It's a wider swath there.
Absolutely. Well, because our show is really the only regional show out west, we definitely pull in from our 6-state region, but we welcome and also have attendees who are from Washington, Oregon, Alaska, Western Canada, Arizona. So, it kind of encompasses the entire West, which is really nice.
That's great. I really like seeing that variety in the exhibition community represented at these shows, because you can learn so much from people who are not necessarily, maybe they're you're running an independent and there's someone who works at a small regional chain or different geographic locations, different demographics, but you have to get that variety to really bounce ideas off of other people.
Our show is focused on independent exhibitors primarily. And while we absolutely welcome and respect and have attendees from, ANC, Cinemark, Regal, and some of the other larger exhibitors, it's primarily focused on our independent exhibitors. And that's really what makes our show unique, I believe. I generally, at our show, it's the decision makers who attend the convention. So you'll see maybe, couple, husband and wife who are attending because they own their theater. You might see them also bringing a general manager if they have more than one location.
Mm-hmm.
It really is primarily the decision makers who attend our show. That being said, when we do see general managers from some of our larger exhibitors, they really help to diversify the experience of cinema exhibition because they bring with them their experiences, which oftentimes include some new tips and tricks that maybe someone operating at a different size hadn't thought of.
With such a wide variety of people attending the show from different areas and the sorts of theaters that they work for, how do you approach programming? Like, what are some of those subjects that you find that everybody across all levels can respond to? And what's some of the programming that you have in store for people this year?
Well, this year we are excited. I'm actually very excited about a couple things. So first, we're looking forward to a couple of our key topics. One is how to future-proof your theater, leveraging technology for operational efficiency. And that seminar is led by Shane Burkett of Agile Tix.
Oh, Shane, I love Shane. He really knows his stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also have a panel discussion led by Jeff Kaplan from Sharp. I'm sure you know Jeff. It's called Charting the Best Upgrade Path for Your Theater. And so I really feel that that's going to be an important topic for a lot of our independents. There's always something that needs to be upgraded. So how do I go about doing that? Because there's always many things to choose from when you're considering, just your expenditures each year. So I think that will be very practical. Something that I'm super excited about this year, that is a workshop. So this year, I'm super excited about a workshop. It's called Uncharted Path, How to Lead Well When Everything Keeps Changing. So that is a workshop that's being led by Lori Mage and Darren Sahlquist. They are not from our industry, completely unknowns to our industry, which I think makes it even more exciting. So they are going to share with us a practical playbook for grounded, courageous leadership in uncertain times. So you can expect inspiration, practical tools, and real conversations. So I really feel that this is an important workshop for anyone attending our convention, whether you're in studio relations, whether you are a vendor partner, whether you're a cinema operator. I mean, it's for everyone. So I hope that everyone will be present for that seminar or that workshop. And basically, they're just going to offer practical guidance that will help you be a better leader in, your teams at work, your family. I mean, just all around.
What is your trade show for? Like, how many vendors do you typically have? Is it something that's on site with everything else? Can you talk a little bit about who typically comes?
Sure. So our trade show is a trade show that is in size. It ranges from about 50 to 60 different vendors. So this year we have space for about 50 vendors, and we're super excited. It's not the largest trade show by any means.
That means you get the chance to talk to people for more than 30 seconds.
Absolutely. Well, and I really feel that the vendors who attend our trade show, they're acutely aware of the types of cinema operators they're going to meet. This is a great opportunity for them to meet cinema operators that they might not otherwise see. So we bring them, to the theater convention, and they have the ability, it's a one-stop shop. They get to see cinema operators from a huge region, which is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that about Rocky Mountain NATO. It's a great show for connecting with people, for shoring up those connections that you make year after year, for making connections with new people. It seems more kind of casual and less like, go. We got 2 minutes to get to this next room, to get to this next thing.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't stack different workshops and things on top of each other. So what is on the schedule, you're able to attend all of the events if you choose. But of course, if you want to take time out and have a meeting, you're welcome to do that as well. So I think that we have a very full schedule, but it also allows you to pick and choose a little bit. We don't want you to miss anything, but it allows you to pick and choose so that you can have some meaningful conversations with fellow vendors, exhibitors, studio relations reps.
Or do you have any offsites? I see there's some screenings yet to be announced. Are there any local theaters that you can say that people will be going to?
Absolutely. Yes, we are excited to welcome our partners from AMC. They are located just a short walk from the historic Davenport Hotel, just a couple blocks. And then also Village Center Cinemas. They're one of our regional circuits and members of the Rocky Mountain Theater Association with their theater located in Idaho. So we're excited to go to both locations, and we will be screening and seeing presentations in the Dolby Atmos auditorium at Village Center Cinemas and the Dolby Cinema Auditorium at AMC. So very excited about that. And so grateful that they have offered up those auditoriums for our use.
And not so much about the show, but something I'm always curious about and interested in. What is the cinema exhibition scene like in Spokane?
So in Spokane, we have within 50-mile radius of downtown Spokane, there are 10 cinemas. 5 of them are operated by national chains. So we actually have a B&B Theaters out in Airway Heights, which is just like a 10-minute drive from downtown Spokane. Regal operates 3 locations. AMC has 1 location. And then we also have 5 independent theater operators here in the Spokane area. And when I say Spokane area, we have the Garland Theater, the historic Garland Theater, beautiful theater just outside of downtown. We have the Magic Lantern Theater, an art house cinema located downtown. We have the Roxy Theater in Newport, Washington, which is just 49 miles outside of town. So I consider that local. I was just through there a couple weeks ago. And also Hayden Cinemas in Hayden, which is just north of Coeur d'Alene. And that's also about just 35 miles from downtown Spokane. So
for anyone who might be looking to go out there, maybe tack a day on the beginning, tack a day on the end, and check out some of the, I love those historic cinemas. They don't make them like that anymore. They're so beautiful.
Yeah, in fact, I just stopped into the Roxy Theater in Newport a couple weeks ago, and they're in the middle of doing some remodeling there. So I'm hopeful that they'll attend because they will absolutely find some vendors that would be glad to help them out with their project.
And getting back to the show, the practical side of things, I suppose. So the show takes place in late September, the 23rd through the 25th. Are registrations still open? Is it something that can people, maybe they're waiting to the last minute to decide what that week looks like for them, is still going to be available for them to go?
Absolutely. So registration is available now. So we have online advance registration rates available right now for our vendors as well as our cinema operators. And we welcome you to sign up in advance. You can sign up on site, but it's kind of like a dinner party. It's nice to know who's going to be joining us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we encourage you to sign up in advance, and you will save a little bit if you do sign up in advance, especially if you're a vendor partner, just simply because there's a lot of details that we like to take care of and prepare in advance before you show up on site. So to help us do our best job for you, we'd love to have your advance reservation. However, we welcome you also to register on site.
It's great. And the Davenport, where the event is being held, I'm just looking at some pictures of it. It looks amazing. Is that where people are staying as well, or?
Yes. So the convention being held in Spokane, you might say, why is the convention in Spokane? Because that's not within the Rocky Mountain region. Well, it just so happens that I live in Spokane. So every now and then we move the convention around, and this year it just happens to be here in Spokane. But everyone loves the Spokane location. They love the historic Davenport Hotel. It's a beautifully restored luxury hotel property, part of the Marriott Autograph Collection. So if you get Marriott points, that's a good thing for you. And it actually just went under some further renovation here in the last couple of years. So longtime attendees will be super surprised by some of the things they see when they arrive. So that will be a pleasant surprise. And I mean, gosh, Spokane, it is super easy to get into for air travel. We're just 10 minutes from downtown. I mean, you don't need to rent a car. You can Uber, take a taxi, super easy that way. I mean, and as far as, time at the airport, it's very moderate time at the airport for, lines getting through security. So it's a really nice location to be here in Spokane. And being that we're in downtown Spokane, we have a beautiful downtown. We're located on the river, also location of the 1974 World's Fair. So, I mean, the renovations that took place then and made our downtown what it is today just makes it a very unique location to host our show.
I'm feeling nice and calm just listening to you talk about it. Because trade shows, like, I love them, but they can be stressful sometimes.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. There's so much that goes into putting on a show, because for me, it's welcoming my friends. And when I see all these people, when I'm working on the lists of attendees and vendors and all of that, it's like, oh, it's going to be so great to see these folks. So I am really looking forward to that. But I do focus a lot on the details and always enjoy putting on a great show.
With all the trade shows in this industry, you have people who have been going every year. They know each other. They're best of friends, but you have new people as well coming each year also.
Absolutely. So because we move around within the Rocky Mountain region and Spokane, we do see an interesting mix every year. It's a little bit different every year, which makes it kind of nice because you get to see new folks as well as people that you've seen for the last 10, 15 years. It's just really a nice mix. Always, a few new faces, many familiar faces. And as far as vendors in the industry, gosh, like our marquee sponsor, Snapco, with Chris McMillan. I mean, Chris has been coming to our show for years. And Corey Tocini, also a marquee sponsor with Movie Going, he's been coming to our convention for years. So, and Beth Figge from Dolby, she's been coming to our convention for years. I mean, it's just awesome that our vendors just support us year after year after year. And I mean, we see many of the same faces, and also it's super awesome when we get to see new faces as well.
I had in my list of questions asking about feedback from long-term attendees, but I guess the fact that they're showing up year after year after year, that's the feedback.
Yeah.
In a way.
And I will say that one of our marquee sponsors, they've said the reason they continue to go to our show year after year after year is because they get to meet with the decision makers. So they're not weeding through a lot of people who are not the decision makers. They get to meet the decision makers. There's no mistake.
You actually get to spend time with them rather than just rushing from one thing to another. Or I'm going to this panel. Which panel are you going to? That sort of situation.
Exactly. And I will say, as far as vendor participation, we invite the vendors to participate in every single event that we have. So we want them to be there so that they have the opportunity to discuss what's going on in the industry. They'll, oftentimes conversations just come up organically in these seminars and presentations. And we want our vendor partners to be there so that they understand the unique challenges that cinema operators face every day.
And so the flip side of that, cinema operators can maybe understand where the vendor side of the equation is coming from in terms of, I know there's a level of tech awareness that I myself do not have, that someone like Shane Burkett-Raja, like he would know more about the ins and outs of that specific area. So it sounds like you can just kind of, if you find a vendor who you're interested in, you can just kind of pick their brains about how the whole thing works.
Absolutely. Yes. And our vendors are so great. I mean, that's the great thing, that those vendors, they aren't there just for the trade show. They're there for the entire time, so that when you think of a question, the next day, you can walk up to Shane and say, hey, I have a question. Can you help me out with this? And, it's just great synergy amongst the cinema operators, the vendors, the studio reps. I mean, it's a really nice 2.5 days that we share together.
So RM NATO, for people who are interested in attending the show, as we said, registration is still open. For people on the thriftier side like myself, when does that early bird pricing go to?
Okay, yes. Early bird pricing, online advance registration rates are available through September 15th. In-person registration rates begin September 23rd, the first day of our convention. So if you know you're coming, make sure that you register early. The final day to make a hotel room reservation in the convention room block at discounted rates is August 22nd. And in Spokane, we have a history of selling out that room block. So I do recommend getting those hotel reservations made before August 22nd.
Finally, and it's not a part of the official show, I believe, but Rocky Mountain NATO has a golf event the day before. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. So normally we have the golf event on the first day of our show, but gosh, I mean, they get to go to the Coeur d'Alene Golf Resort where they have the iconic floating green. And it's usually, a 7.5 to 8 hour outing because they're driving over to Coeur d'Alene. So I thought, why rush it? Why not enjoy the day in beautiful Coeur d'Alene? So we've moved that event to Monday, September 22nd. So if you would like to attend that event, you can register for the golf while you're registering for the convention. And that event is open only to registered attendees of the show.
It's great. I'm not a golfer, but it sounds beautiful. Thank you so much, Dan. It's great to speak with you. And it sounds like the show is going to be amazing. Some of that programming is just relevant and timely, and you can never have too much opportunity to really connect with other people in this industry, like in person. You got to do it in person.
Absolutely. Yes. We are excited to host the Rocky Mountain Theater Convention in Spokane, Washington at the historic Davenport Theater, September 23rd through 25th. And we hope you'll all join us there for a great time of networking. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. Have a good one.
And that was Rebecca Pahle interviewing Diane Eve, the regional director of Rocky Mountain NATO. The Rocky Mountain NATO convention is taking place from September 23rd to 25th, so don't forget to sign up for your registration. Earlier, you heard from my colleague Chad Kennerk, and you also heard from me, Daniel Loria. Thank you again for listening to us, and we will be back with another episode next Thursday.